Now what's cool is, after this, the appointment that he sent in was not confirmed at once, and after an interval he received a letter which purported to come from the husband, would prove to be inaccurate, and that he sympathized with them, and he was so sorry, and he couldn't believe the illness, and he feels so bad about it, that it was impossible to withdraw the name once it was sent in, and the man who was appointed was confirmed within 2 days after. And he's talking to me about how, like, when he was a kid, he was working in, like, coal mine. And I'm like, holy crap, what? And, like, if I understood that, and I knew that chunk of the chance to really form an intimate connection with them, which is harsh, and it's not. So hopefully I'll be able to right that wrong soon and be able to form deeper connections. Because in reality, if you don't dig deep with somebody, they're not gonna dig deep on their own. Like, it has to come from you asking quality questions. And those are some of the questions we've covered earlier. It's some of the questions like, what are you passionate about? What do you like to do for fun? What gets you up in the morning? You wanna really uncover the internal motivations of all that. And then as soon as you do that, it radically shifts the quality of the conversations you have. It's not just, oh, what's your favorite color? Oh, what's your favorite TV show? Like, that's cool. But the big difference and the big change and the big impact can be from uncovering those internal motivations and then figuring out where they come from. Like with Alex, like he's constantly cleaning things. He's like super and doing everything on his own. And he doesn't want to like hire people. I'm like, hey dude, I got this guy, he can do this for you. Like, it's like, you want him to work for you. And he's like, no, I'll do it on my own. And I realized that now I understand that, like, that comes from him growing up in this world of scarcity where he was literally paid based off of how many minerals he brought out of the dirt every single day. Growing up in elementary school in Brazil. And I'm like, holy crap, dude, that's insane. Now I understand why he acts the way he does. I get it. And when you get somebody, it's 10,000 times easier to connect with them. Really big concept, really big concept. I hope you guys got a ton of value from that. Now what I'm talking about next is something that's really powerful. It's about Jay Magnum. He was a representative at an elevator escalator maintenance company in Oklahoma, and he had this maintenance contract for one of the escalators in Tulsa's leading hotels. And when I read the story, at first I was like, where's this going? And then I realized, like, holy crap, this is genius, this is insane. So this was a big impact one for me. I hope you guys get a lot of value from it. See, what happened is the hotel manager did not want to shut down the escalators. You've got like a lobby of your hotel and then all the rooms, right? So you got all the rooms up here. And obviously there's multiple floors or whatever, but they're in the lobby and they've got this elevator, and so he's trying to like fix the elevator because the elevator kind of got broke, and he's like, oh, what do I do? And so the manager didn't really want to shut down the escalator for 2 hours because he didn't want to inconvenience the hotel's guests. When the repair had to be made, it would take at least 8 hours, and so because the repair would take 8 hours, this is a challenge, right? And additionally, the company didn't always have like a specially qualified mechanic available at the convenience of the hotel. And so when Jay Magnum was able to schedule sort of a top flight mechanic for the job, he asked the hotel manager, and he said, instead of arguing with him about, hey, look, I need you to give me the necessary time to work on this escalator, he said, hey, look, I know your hotel is quite busy and you would like to keep the escalator shutdown time at a minimum. I'm looking at this from your perspective. I understand your past, I understand your desires, I understand your wants, I understand your concerns about this, and we want to do everything possible to accommodate you. However, our diagnosis of the situation shows that if we do not do a complete job now, your escalator may suffer more serious damage, and that would cause a much longer shutdown, which would be a shame for you. I know that you would not want to inconvenience your guests for several days, right? He's saying, look, this is the reason, these are the reasons why, you need to take care of this or you're gonna get screwed, right? And so the manager had to agree, which is tough, but he had to agree to an 8-hour shutdown. And to him, that was really big, and that was a challenge. But he decided that, look, this 8-hour shutdown is gonna be much more desirable than a shutdown for like an entire freaking week or for several days. I mean, it's just a huge difference. And so by sympathizing with the manager's desire to keep his patrons happy, this mechanic was able to win the hotel manager to his way of thinking easily and without. All he did to make this simple shift in this manager's mindset was he said, look, this is the tragedy that could actually happen. This is the really bad thing that could happen. And if we don't fix it, this is gonna be awful. And then what he does is he contrasts that with the little teeny amount of work that there would have to be done to get it done right now. Just 8 hours, that's all it is, and it'll save you weeks. in the future. And by using contrast, he makes it seem like it's not that big of a deal, even though it's like, you know, an entire day, which is kind of long. And as soon as he does that, it changes everything. It totally shifts his perspective. And on top of that, he goes up to the manager, he says, look, I understand that this is gonna be a terrible time period. And I am so sorry for intervening. It's the worst thing ever, and I understand that, and I'm sorry, I feel so bad about it. And he sympathizes with this guy's point of view because he understands the background behind his current point of view. As soon as he does that, it's like a light bulb. Instantly shifts. He says, all right, cool, come and do it, not a big deal. So he attacks himself. It makes the other person feel more significant, more important, more valuable. That's critical. That's huge. Really great example again here from Joyce Norris, who's a piano teacher in St. Louis, Missouri, told Dale about how she handled the challenge that piano teachers, you know, often have with teenage girls. And, you know, the difficulty was that she had this student who had exceptionally long fingernails. And this was a really big handicap to anyone who wanted to develop, you know, quality piano playing habits. I remember I kind of tried to learn piano a long time ago. And yeah, I mean, you've gotta, I didn't have long fingernails, but your fingers are important. And so, you know, this lady, she says, you know, I knew that her long fingernails would be a barrier for her in her desire to play well. And during our discussions prior to starting the lesson, you know, I didn't mention anything about her nails because in reality, you don't want to focus on negative things at the beginning. You don't want to focus on difficulties. You don't want to focus on things that they're gonna have to overcome. Instead, you just want to teach. You just want to share. You just want to learn. You just want to connect with that other person and make them realize that, look, this is where you are right now, and you're doing really well right now, and here's where I can take you if you go through this you know, piano practice. We can go all the way up here and have a really high level of success with your piano playing, right? And you don't want to focus as much on the nitty-gritty of what they're gonna have to do. Instead, most people just want to focus on this end result, and that's kind of how you sell, you know, services like teaching piano, services like how to invest in the market. Like, it's all based off of this this end result that you want to get for your client. And so for her, the end result was being a really great piano player. So she ignored the challenge, and she didn't want to discourage her from taking lessons. And, you know, she knew that she would want to lose one of her great students. And so, you know, this girl took a lot of pride in her fingernails and to make herself attractive. And so she didn't just want to like rip that away from her at the beginning, because she could understand from her past, from her experiences, that that was a very important aspect of her life, and it's not something that she was just going to instantly throw away so that she could get better at piano. So what happens next is kind of really powerful, and it shows the power of appealing to an authority while also being compassionate and sympathetic about a person's background. After the first lesson, when she felt the time was right, she said, "Hey, Babette," which was the girl's name, "you have attractive hands and beautiful fingernails." She praised her. She praised her fingernails. She praised her hand. "And if you want to play the piano as well as you are capable of, and as well as you would like to, you will be surprised how much quicker and easier it would be for you if you would trim your nails shorter."